Hi there, friends. 6 a.m. on this Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. It's good to see you. Well, yesterday, my goodness, it was quite rainy.
It was.
I was waiting for that break in the rain to walk the dogs, and finally it happened later in the afternoon. And Thomas, it's kind of thinned out this morning even more so, but how much more rain can we expect today?
Yeah, today, probably not much, if any, rainfall. Our rain chances only stand at about 10% overall. So that means probably 90% of us in the inland Northwest just don't see any rain whatsoever. But not all of us. So if you get rained on, you're probably one of the more unlucky ones for today, so to speak. Doppler radar is not void of any action. In fact, most of the action is over Grant County and over central and southern Washington. So from Moses Lake to Othello and down towards the Tri-Cities, that's where most of the rain is right now, but it is overall pretty thinned out. Looks like there's a little bit of a shower that might be over Coeur d'Alene, but again, this is few and far between. So if we get any rain today, it's nothing more than a light shower at most.
New details this morning out of North Idaho. The Kootenai County coroner ruled the death of a Spirit Lake woman a homicide. S.A. Floyd was found dead in her apartment last November after a police officer shot at her. The sheriff's office released a report last December. It says 2 Spirit Lake officers responded to a home for an apparent mental health crisis. The report says when police got there, they announced their presence. That's when investigators then say a shooting happened. Deputies say after the shooting, the officers left to get a search warrant. When they came back, they found the woman dead with a gun near her body. However, the sheriff's office stopped short of saying whether Floyd was shot and killed by a Spirit Lake police officer.
Well, this morning, attorneys for Idaho's longest-serving death row inmate, Thomas Creech, are trying to delay his execution. His attorneys brought 2 appeals to the Idaho Supreme Court yesterday morning. The first claims that Creech had ineffective legal counsel with his previous representation. The second challenges his death sentence under the 8th Amendment because his judge, not a jury, sentenced him to death. The prosecution says the attempts to delay the case are, quote, out of desperation.
The petition that has been filed in this case is the biggest Hail Mary that I've seen in the 26+ years I've been doing capital litigation.
After hearing arguments, the judge decided to recess until tomorrow. Now, Creech is currently scheduled to be executed on February 28th. A judge sentenced him to death for the murder of a fellow inmate in 1981, but he's also been convicted of 4 other murders. He's been on Idaho's death row now for more than 40 years.
In our ongoing Boomtown series, we track continued growth across our region. The city of Spokane Valley is considering to add more officers to its police department to keep up with the city's rising population. Tonight, council members will get an update from the city's police chief. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is live in the newsroom for us right now. So, Brandon, what are they talking about at this meeting? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. Well, Spokane Valley Police Chief David Ellis will give an update on the department's new recruitment and retention plan for the years 2024 through 2027. This follows a story we first brought you last week as conversations are taking place to hire more officers in the city. Spokane Valley currently has 91 people who fully work in the department. In 2022, the department hired a consulting group that suggested they add 25 more officers to the force. That would cost roughly $6 million. And over the last 15 years, the valley's population has gone up by 20,000 people. In the last 5 years, the number of people calling the police department has gone up every year by 8,000. So the department's plan is to have these new officers in by 2026. Tonight's council meeting begins at 6 p.m. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Brandon T. Jones.
The time now is 6:05. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. Firefighters and police rescued several pets in a house fire in Moses Lake. Police were the first on the scene there and were able to rescue 2 large dogs. When fire crews arrived to the house fire, they found another cat and dog inside the home and got them out safely. The cat and one of the dogs were treated on scene for smoke exposure. This morning, registrations for Junior Bloomsday and the Marmot March are officially open. The race is 1 mile for kids grades 3rd through 7th. The entry fee is just $20 and the race is happening on April 14th. For the younger kids, they can take part in the Marmot March, a 1 mile non-competitive walk. Registration is open until April 13th or until 350 kids sign up. The entry fee is just $18 and the race is happening on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. We want to say a big congratulations to the Meade High School cheer team. Channing's like, yes. She knows how hard all of this is. Competition, my goodness. The girls actually defended their title of state champs on Friday and won. The cheer team's Instagram posted the team had the highest scoring non-tumbling routine across the entire state. The team will now head to the USA Spirit National Championships in Anaheim, California to compete for a national title. The Garland Theater announced on Facebook a reopening date, which is pretty exciting. They plan to have the doors open on March 1st for a 7:30 showing of Benny and June for just $5. Their website says they are still under construction, so you may want to hold off on buying your tickets right now, of course. And that's a look at your morning rush. Taking a look at Northwest news, the Idaho Senate advanced a bill that requires smartphone and tablet manufacturers to enable filters for web browsers and search engines.
So the idea is to prevent kids from being exposed to inappropriate content. Now, the bill's sponsor says that the filters are already installed on the phone.
The industry has provided filtering software that is already installed on mobile devices that parents can enable.
The group argued against the bill, saying that the filter just isn't feasible. The bill would only cover web browsers and search engines on smartphones sold on or after January 1st of 2025. It doesn't cover social media on those devices at all.
And new data from the state superintendent shows kindergartners in Washington state are more prepared to start school than ever before. Students are measured across 6 different categories: cognitive, language, literacy, math, physical, and social emotional. This past fall, more than 52% of kindergartners met the standard for readiness in all 6 categories. That's about a 4% increase over 2022. The largest gains were in math, with a nearly 4% increase from the previous year.
A trial date has now been set in the government's antitrust lawsuit against Google. Now, according to court documents, the trial between the Department of Justice and the tech giant will start on September 9th. The case targets Google's economic dominance in online advertising over the past few years. The DOJ is joined by some states that allege unfair competition by Google excuse me, over its technology and online search rivals. Google says that the government's case is a, quote, flawed argument that would slow innovation.
6:08, another check of our weather forecast for today. Should be a lot calmer today compared to yesterday, especially in terms of rainfall. Not quite a 0% chance of rain, but pretty few and far between. Right now, it's still 36 degrees, just overcast skies and fairly quiet and calm conditions over Spokane. Started to get a little bit more foggy over Coeur d'Alene last I checked, but there are no dense fog advisories for the inland northwest, save for Dayton and towards Walla Walla, just a small area in southeastern Washington. That's been where the fog has been most thick and prevalent so far this morning. So maybe some patchy fog, maybe a stray shower, but overall a calmer day and a better chance for sunshine with temperatures topping out in the mid-40s.